Good afternoon, and thank you for being here for this news conference. I'm joined by Lincoln Transportation and Utilities Director Liz Elliott, Lincoln Parks and Recreation Director Maggie Stuckey-Ross, Lincoln Police Department Assistant Chief Ryan Dale, and Lincoln Electric System Vice President of Energy Delivery Paul Christ. And we're here today to provide an important update ahead of tonight's anticipated storm. We anticipate that severe weather will start this afternoon and last through tomorrow morning. The National Weather Service predicts heavy winds of up to 70 miles per hour, rain turning to snow, and possible blizzard conditions. We're taking this forecast seriously, as public safety is our top priority here at the city. Our city team is mobilized and ready to respond to ensure you stay safe and informed. Our efforts to keep you and your family safe and informed involve a highly coordinated response of various city departments and key community partners. And to share more with you about this coordinated effort, let's first hear from Liz Elliott, Director of Lincoln Transportation and Utilities, about her department's storm preparations and operations. Director Elliott?
Good afternoon. Our winter operations team has a clear response plan in place to keep you and our streets safe during this storm. Because rain is expected before the snow arrives, we will not pre-treat roads with brine, as the rain would wash away the brine. Instead, our teams will follow a phased approach, beginning with monitoring and plowing. Our crews will monitor conditions in real time and begin plowing as soon as snowfall starts accumulating. We will focus first on arterial, school, and emergency snow routes, followed by collector streets, and then, if needed, residential areas. We will then continue with spot checking and adjusting winter operations to meet conditions. Throughout the storm, we will conduct spot checks to assess road conditions and make adjustments to their treatment as necessary. And finally, if needed, we will use granular salt pre-wet with brine to assist with any de-icing that may occur. By early morning, if ice develops on the roadways, we will apply this material to improve traction for the morning commute. Part of our response to the anticipated storm involves alterations to the hours of city services. StarTran buses will operate until 7 p.m. this evening, ending service 3 hours early due to the risk posed by high winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour. Taller vehicles, including buses, are particularly vulnerable in these conditions. Normal StarTran service will resume Wednesday morning. Riders should dress warmly, wear reflective clothing, and wait at least 8 feet from the curb for your safety. Real-time service updates are available through the Ride LNK app. Lincoln Transportation and Utilities is also taking steps to ensure the Bluff Road landfill and our 5 recycling sites across the city remain safe for all workers and community members. We will delay opening Bluff Road landfill Wednesday. Hours will be from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. We will also pause all recycling site maintenance from 5 p.m. today until 10 a.m. on Thursday. As the blustery weather continues to intensify, we encourage Lincoln residents to be aware of other potential hazards that can cause concern when the forecast calls for high winds. In coordination with Lincoln's private haulers, we encourage residents to delay putting your waste and recyclable bins out by the curb this evening for Wednesday pickup. Instead, consider putting them out on the curb early Wednesday morning or bypassing Wednesday's waste and recycling pickup if possible. By preventing potential trash bin spills, we can prevent flying waste and debris in neighborhoods and keep our streets and waterways clear. We also encourage residents to latch their waste and recycling bins when severe weather hits and avoid overfilling. The National Weather Service forecasts this storm to blow in and out of Lincoln within a 24-hour period. The good news is warmer temperatures are expected to return later this week. This will assist LTU street operations for easier travel. For additional information on our plowing progress, go to lincoln.ne.gov/snow and click on our snowplow tracker map. You can also sign up for winter operation emails on the website as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Director Elliott, and to your team at LTU, and I want to give a special note of gratitude to Tim Byrne, our winter operations lead. Thank you for everything you and our snow fighters do. In addition to LTU, our team at Lincoln Parks and Recreation is at the forefront of our city's coordinated response. Here to share more about that is Lincoln Parks and Recreation Director Maggie Stuckey-Ross. Director?
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Our Parks and Recreation team is prepared to respond to our community's needs and will be out until the cleanup work is done. We encourage residents to report tree issues in their area after the storm passes. If tree debris is blocking a roadway, we ask that you notify Lincoln Police Department's non-emergency dispatch line at 402-441-6000 to ensure that public safety needs are met. For all other public tree issues, including trees along streets and in our parks, residents are encouraged to use the Uplink app or website, as it provides a quicker way to contact us. You can also reach the Community Forestry section by phone at 402-441-7847. In all cases, the more specifics you can provide will help our team best assess how to address the issues. Example information might include whether it is a downed limb, a hanging branch, or a fallen tree, the nearest street address, and whether or not the debris is impacting street or sidewalk traffic. Uplink users are also able to upload a photo, which is always appreciated. To maximize efficiency, our department prioritizes tree debris removal work by first addressing blocked arterial streets, then residential streets and driveways, hanging limbs, blocked sidewalks, and finally, debris in the right-of-way between the curb and the sidewalk. As we complete our work in the public right-of-way, we want to remind everyone that tree debris on private property is the responsibility of the property owner. Finally, the Parks and Recreation team will be monitoring our trail system and all of our parks for public safety and accessibility after the storm passes. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Stuckey-Ross, and to everyone at Parks and Rec. We've had a lot of severe weather events that have kept your teams really busy, and we appreciate just how fast and efficiently they get that work done, and we appreciate the public's cooperation as well. Now, we're very fortunate that our community is served by Lincoln Electric System, which is one of the most reliable and affordable electricity providers in the nation. And here to provide information on what people need to know in the event of power outages is LES Vice President of Energy Delivery, Paul Christ. Paul, thanks so much for joining us today.
All right. Thank you, Mayor. LES has been in the process of evaluating the weather conditions and the forecast. As many have mentioned, the wind conditions are going to create a challenge for us, could possibly cause some outages. In an effort to be prepared, we do have crews that will be coming on in-house this afternoon at 5 o'clock to work through the night to be available for any kind of customer response and power restoration. But due to the high winds, as everybody's mentioned, we will be limited on what we're able to do with our storm response because of the crews going up in the buckets and the aerial devices. So we will do our best efforts to get everybody restored as quickly as possible. But if you do experience an outage, we ask that you call 888-365-2412 or go to our outage hotline at les.com. If people have medical equipment that relies on electricity, we do ask that you prepare for that and test any kind of backup battery sources that you may have, or look for plans to, in the event you lose electricity. As we continue to look at the storm and progress, we'll keep people posted at les.com, on our Facebook page, and on X for any updates. For any other further updates, that'll be your best source, and hopefully we get through the storm and we're back up and energized tomorrow, and we'll go from there. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Paul, and we appreciate the dedication of your crews working through the night. Here to share important information on how the Lincoln Police Department prepares for and responds to storms like the one we anticipate this evening is Assistant Chief Ryan Dale. Assistant Chief Dale, thanks for all you do.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. The Lincoln Police Department is ready to assist community members as needed during the weather event, as we are always prepared to do no matter the forecast. Please stay safe on the roads, whether you're heading home or enjoying evening activities. We encourage drivers to slow down and give yourself extra time to reach your destination. That includes increasing your following distance as you follow behind other cars, to avoid collisions on slippery surfaces, or if there's a sudden change in visibility. Please give first responders and road crews plenty of space to operate as needed. If you see an emergency or maintenance vehicle with its emergency flashing lights on, please remember to move over and slow down. We want to make sure our police officers, firefighters, paramedics, equipment operators, and others have plenty of space to help those who need it. Don't forget to turn on your headlights anytime you're needing to use your windshield wipers. If visibility drops significantly, they can help other drivers see you. Our traffic unit would like to remind drivers that in the event of a crash, please move out of the road as quickly and as safely as possible. Drivers do not need to sit in the traffic while they wait for officers to arrive. This can be very dangerous, leading to delays and secondary crashes. You can take photos of the scene if it is safe and make sure everyone is okay, but then please move to the nearest side street or driveway. We appreciate your patience, as officers will be impacted by the weather conditions as well. But rest assured, we will respond to your call to 911 or to our non-emergency number 402-441-6000. Thank you.
Thank you, ACDL, and to everyone at LPD for the work that you do day in and day out, and no matter the weather, like you said. With that, we would be happy to open this up for any questions from the media.
What challenges do you think this storm poses that are kind of different from previous storms?
Well, I'll turn to my experts here in a moment, but I mean, the high winds are significant and perhaps will be the highest winds we've seen in a year. So, you know, if you remember the storm last summer, we saw a lot of downed trees that required weeks and weeks of response. But would you like to, or go ahead.
I think, as the mayor mentioned, the big thing is the sustained winds for a long period of time. Typically, when we have storms come through with those type of wind speeds, they come in and blow out. So our crews are going to be challenged with being able to make those quick response repairs like we typically like to do. If the winds are above 40 miles an hour, we can't get our buckets up in the air, or you don't want people up in there, and trees could still be falling. So I think that's the biggest challenge that we're looking at, and that's going to be the challenge we're facing, especially if the gusts continue throughout the night.
Do you think the added little bit of snow will contribute to that at all as well?
It depends on how much it accumulates and if it builds up on the trees and starts pulling trees down or branches down. So that'll be the biggest challenge we see.
Anyone else want to?
I think the snow is probably the least of our concerns. A couple inches is normal business for our operations, but you put that with the wind and you have difficult driving conditions just because of the visibility. The bigger challenge is the larger vehicles that are out, such as the buses. And so just making sure that everyone gets to and from safely is our main concern with the winds that we're going to see for sustained periods, not just a few minutes, but what looks like hours.
Anyone else? No? Okay. Any other questions? Yes.
If people have like a dispute about like fallen trees or branches or stuff like that, as far as like what's on their property versus city property, should they also go to the Uplink app? Is that where they can go to kind of ask questions about that, on whether it's on their property or the city?
They certainly can go to the Uplink app. We would encourage you to report any damage that appears to be on city property. That's something we'd like to see and know about. And we can look in our asset management system and understand if that tree is a city tree or if it's a private tree. Yeah, that's something we do often. So start with Uplink, and then our forestry section will be in touch.
Thank you. Any other questions? Yes.
Hi, sorry.
Hi.
So Mayor, my question to you is, what's just something that you want to let the people know at home? Like, cause you know, for those of us that are not from Nebraska, like it could be kind of scary. So what's some words of encouragement that you just want to provide them?
Yeah, well, thank you for that question. I hope that when you see all of these city leaders and community stakeholders standing up here telling you about this coordinated response, that you'll feel rest assured that we are making a lot of proactive preparations. We are all on it, and that the public has a role too, and we're asking folks to help us keep you safe. You know, if you don't have to drive this evening, you know, that maybe not the best night to be on the roads. If you do see something that is a threat, a risk, a hazard, a downed power line, to report it, a downed limb, to report it. And to do so, you can look at our city website, lincoln.ne.gov. and find your way to the appropriate channel to make those reports or use the Uplink app. But everyone here and the teams that we work with are here to serve Lincoln residents, and that's what we're going to be doing around the clock during this weather. Any other? Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this news conference to learn more about how we are mobilizing and getting prepared so that we can respond as needed to the anticipated storm. Please do stay safe and stay tuned to the weather, and again, lincoln.ne.gov for the latest information on the city's storm response. Thank you.